But yeah, I've just been wearing lots of sweatshirts and t-shirts and PJs and
I feel like that is that's like I feel like that's definitely like the pandemic look, but also
pandemic chic.
I think that's pandemic chic. I think that's exactly what it is. But I also think that it's kind of also January.
That's true.
Like in January, it's just like I've got to be wearing slippers.
Oh, I love slippers. I have a new pair. It's already like I wear them so much that they're already getting like beaten up. Like I'm getting my slippers beaten up in my house because I wear them so much. Like that's crazy.
Well, girl, you have a job. Get some new slippers. You can get
these are new.
Oh, so they're just really
they're cheap.
Okay,
they're cheap. It's fine.
You need to upgrade your slipper game.
That's true. My
sister crocheted me leg warmers.
Ooh,
they're like rainbow leg warmers. I don't have them on me right now, but they're so soft and cute. And I just put them over my jeans, and I want to be ensconced in a blanket until March. You know what I mean?
Yeah. With my Amazon gift card that I got from my law firm as a holiday gift, I almost got a giant, like I think it's a snuggie, but basically it's not quite. It has like the feet holes and the arm holes don't open, like they're closed. So it's just like,
so it's a sack.
It's just like you just put your arms in, you put your feet in, and you like drape it all over you. It's like it extends out. Like
now, I don't want to overstep my bounds here, but I do feel like I can picture you and your whole family wearing Snuggies watching a movie in your den. Is that a thing that happens, or
that is not a thing that happens? So that is a thing that could happen. And thank you for that idea. I think I will
bring it up
make
at
sure
the next
that
family
happens.
Meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and I'm in the den right now, but we watch TV upstairs, and so yeah, maybe I should invest in some of those. And I'm getting
family
advertisements for very specific, very like things that I would want.
Sometimes I get
I don't need
something that's like upsetting. Like sometimes I get an ad. Yeah, sometimes I'll get an ad, and I'm like, who do you think? Like, who do you think I am that I need that? Like, I wish I could come up with a good example. I will say that there was a time where I was getting tons of advertisements for like, remove your muffin top or get rid of your muffin top. And I'm like, excuse me. First of all, who says I want to remove my muffin top? And secondly, stop bombarding me with your like body shaming ads.
Also, who says you have a muffin top?
The algorithm apparently does.
Yeah, I get advertised sometimes men's stuff and sometimes gay men's stuff and sometimes kids stuff.
Well, because
a lot of
my kids are
stuffed animals. But to be fair, I did buy my boyfriend a stuffed animal,
and
then
cute little penis stuffy that you have. That's
and
adorable.
I got myself a penis plushie. Yeah, so technically it's like on point, for them to advertise stuffed animals to me. But it still is like,
like I don't know that I like the mirror that's reflected back to me by today's modern advertising is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, definitely. I take screenshots of things that I'm advertised and send them to you sometimes, or send them to.
I know. You sent me some really weird ones.
Yeah.
The robots are trying to figure us out, and they're not always accurate, or maybe.
But they will be in 10 years.
Oh yeah, in 10 years they'll know me better than I know myself. I mean, honestly, if they just sent me as much Adam Driver and Andy Samberg merch as possible, I mean, that's it. That's all you got to market to me.
Yeah, why? Why have they not?
I haven't seen a single ad for any Adam Driver or Andy Samberg merch. Not a single ad.
That's true. I have also not had an ad.
It is shocking. It's shocking. Speaking of which, welcome to the Adam and Andy podcast.
Welcome.
I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
I'm your other host, Sarah.
And this is a podcast where we celebrate the life, the love, the films, the television shows, and the merch.
Talent.
The incredible, undeniable talent of Adam Driver and Andy Samberg. So we only watch Adam Driver and Andy Samberg movies, etc. And that's what we do on the show. So if you're here because you love those actors, you've come to the right place.
And if you don't love them, get out.
There's the door.
This isn't the podcast for
There's
you.
the door. See yourself out, sir, or madam, whoever you are. Sarah, would you like? I've got a lot of exciting Andy and Adam and Andy news today.
Nice.
Would you like me to give you a little bit of news from the newswire?
Please start with Andy.
All right, let's start with Andy. Great. Oh, this is very exciting. Palm Springs. So recently they announced the awards for the Critics' Choice Awards in these sort of specialized categories. So if you remember, Palm Springs was up for some awards in the sci-fi fantasy category.
Mm-hmm.
Palm Springs won for Best Sci-Fi or Fantasy Film. Kristen Milioti won for Best Actress and in a sci-fi fantasy film. And Andy Samberg won for Best Actor in a sci-fi fantasy film.
Nice!
In fact, it was adorable. I'll have to I think I already shared the video on Twitter when it was going around, but I can reshare it. But there was a video, like they announced him and they cut to him in a parking lot, like accepting the award, but like it was like he was trying to run away from something. It was a whole bit. It was super adorable.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I love it. Oh, congratulations to him.
Yes, I was so happy.
He deserves it.
And also Kristen Milioti, she was great as well. And
Yeah.
And the film is awesome. And I'm so glad that they won. That's exciting. I hope there's more awards for them on the horizon.
Yeah, I watched it 3 times in like a week, so definitely
I might have to revisit it.
film.
It's possible that what I really need to do is go back and watch Palm Springs again. I feel like that was early quarantine, but it was a formative experience. It
was very amazing. Was that in May? June?
Gosh.
May? It was May.
Well, let's see.
April?
Yeah, I think it was around May. Or June. I'm not sure because we did it on the podcast. That was a toasty.
We didn't do it on this podcast. No, we did it on the Feminine Mistake podcast,
which led to us creating this podcast,
which we created in June.
Did we?
I think so.
Doing this since June.
June.
I thought it was August that we've started this show.
You're right.
Anyway,
that was a different podcast that has the same name that began in June. Never mind.
The Just June podcast.
No. There are 2 Adam and Andy podcasts besides ours.
We don't talk about them here. We don't talk about them here. They're not.
I'm just saying. We all started in 2020.
Well, we'll be the last Adam and Andy podcast standing.
Last one standing.
I've got a little bit more news if you're ready.
Okay.
If you're ready for some more news. So this is a new project that's in development. Okay. And let's see, where did I get this from? This is, I heard about this initially on Twitter from, there's an account called Best of Andy, which we follow. At Bad Post Andy is the Twitter handle. Anyway, so Andy Samberg and his Palm Springs writer, so this is the Palm Springs writer, Andy Sierra, have teamed up with Noah Hawley and Ben Stiller for an untitled sci-fi comedy drama that will be shown on the Apple. It's landing at Apple Studios, which I guess it means it's going to come out on the Apple TV app, I'm going to guess.
Apple Studios? Excuse me?
Well, because Apple is producing, like, they produce, like, I don't know, what that show with Steve Carell and Jennifer Aniston. And, like, there's a ton of stuff coming out on Apple. And, like, M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, it's like Amazon and Apple and Disney Plus, and they're all kind of vying for our attention. But so it's going to be at Apple, which means now I'm going to have to buy the fucking Apple app.
I was just asking my mom today, I was like, how many of these companies are going to create an app that how much will we have to pay to watch everything?
Eventually, they're probably just going to fucking bundle it like they did when we had cable. Remember with cable, you could get like bundles. I hope it, I don't want to go back to that, but I mean, I don't know that it's going to be a la carte forever, or maybe it will because they've realized they can make more money that way. Anyway, so it's going to be at Apple. And it says there's no details on the log line or what it's about. It is an original idea by BoJack Horseman creator Raphael Bob Waxberg. So a lot of cool people involved with this. Andy is set to star and produce. And Andy Sierra's, or sorry, what's his name? Yeah, Andy Sierra's, who from Palm Springs, is going to write the script and be an executive producer on the project. There's no director announced yet.
Wow, that sounds exciting. I'm
excited. I'm very excited about that because obviously it's like a similar team that was behind Palm Springs, but some new blood in there, and I'm excited to hear what they come up with. And Ben Stiller and Andy Samberg creatively teaming up on something I think is very exciting. So they're both great
for sure.
Anyway, so that's all the Andy news that I've got. I don't know if Brooklyn Nine-Nine is back on set or not. Obviously, COVID is pretty bad in LA right now. Like it's really, really bad. So they may or may not. Oh my God, I found the video of Andy and it's so adorable. The one where he's like, oh, he was on set when they shot this video and he's pointing to all this weird crap on the studio lot. It's very funny. Anyway, I'll share the video and send it to you, but it's really cute.
Okay.
I'm accepting that award. It's adorable.
Nice.
I'm just so happy for them.
Yeah,
they deserve it. Okay. So, Adam news. Let's see. Where should I start here? We've got a couple of things. So first of all, the Ben Solo Funko Pop is actually real and was available for pre-sale this week. It is Ben in his good boy sweater, as we call it, when they go to Exegol, and he's just wearing the sweater with a little hole in it. So it's got a hole in it.
Yes.
And I've seen images where he's got a black eye and images where he doesn't. He's got the Skywalker lightsaber, the blue lightsaber, and weirdly a scar, which is confusing because Rey heals him. Scar. When he gets to Exegol. Watch it again. After she heals him. Sorry, spoilers for Rise of Skywalker, but I hope you've already seen this movie. She heals him after she stabs him. Next time you watch it, the scar on his face disappears.
Oh.
So there's no scar on his face.
So it's a little... No. Notice that. Interesting.
So I hope they fix that before... I don't know if they've actually started producing those things, but I hope they fix it because he doesn't have a scar when he's on Exegol. It's gone by then. Anyway,
Tweet
so...
that shit.
I believe me, the internet was on it immediately. Like the Twitter was like, "Excuse me, sir."
You know what they should do? These companies, they should release.
I don't know. Maybe look at a picture of the actor.
Well, I'm just saying, like the internet has the answer. Like let the people speak before you mass produce.
I mean, I feel like this is going to have to be like a Sonic the Hedgehog situation. Remember when the first Sonic the Hedgehog trailer came out and he had human teeth and everyone freaked out and they were like, and then they changed the Sonic design. I mean, you guys like do a little.
Is that like the butthole cut of Cats?
Yeah. So maybe there's going to be like the scarred Ben Solo, and that's like going to be a really rare thing and you can hardly get one. And then they're going to put out it's like the butthole cut of Funko Pops, I think.
I'm sorry. Can we like make that the quote of this episode? The butthole cut.
Which,
of
by the way, I don't think we really properly referenced that, but we're talking about the movie Cats.
Yeah,
and that there is a supposed butthole cut where all the cats have buttholes, which is horrifying. But in a movie that's already pretty horrifying.
Yeah. Have you listened to the episode of the podcast? How did this get made about cats?
Of course did I listen to it, Sarah? I bought tickets to the live stream. I watched that. That was the first How Did This Get Made? In fact, this show and every show we've done owes our inspiration for doing the show in part to the How Did This Get Made, because that was one of the after listening to that show was when I started thinking about doing the Feminine Mistake podcast. And I was like, ooh, like I kind of stole a lot of ideas from them. So like the idea to have a different guest on every time. I know we don't really have a guest on this show, or we haven't yet, but I bought tickets to the live stream. I watched them talk about cats on on my computer.
Nice.
It was great. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I just listened to that a few weeks ago. It was a great episode.
Oh, I love them so much. I was just listening to their Gnome Named Norm episode, actually right before the show.
Gnome Named Norm?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's pretty sounds pretty terrible. All right. So anyway, there's a couple more things.
Okay.
Also, this is a little thing. Location scouting for Gucci is underway in Rome, Italy. So that's happening.
Ooh.
Waiting for more details about that. By the way, I saw a photo on Twitter comparing. So Gaga, of course, we haven't really even mentioned this yet, but the orange reign of terror is over, at least for the time being, and we have a new president. Thank God. I feel like speaking of buttholes, I feel like yesterday my butthole unclenched for the first time in like 4 years. Like I know we have a lot of work to do in this country. I'm not saying that it fixes everything, but it certainly helps.
Yeah, listening to his speech, I was like, that's a lot of hope. Like, he has a lot of hope. Yeah.
So relieved. Anyway, Gaga was there. Did you see her sing?
I didn't. I only heard him speak, and then I have to go back to work.
Sarah, you have got to watch Gaga. Also, her outfit, of course, was amazing. But
was it appropriate?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, the fashion yesterday at the inauguration, I feel like was unparalleled, maybe perhaps since Jackie O. I don't know. I mean, Michelle Obama was there with this gorgeous pantsuit, and Kamala was there with the gorgeous pantsuit, and everyone was looking super fabulous yesterday. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so Gaga's hairstyle, which was this like sort of almost like Princess Leia like braid with like dark and blonde in it. Somebody compared that to an image of the character she's playing in the Gucci movie, and that woman had the same hairstyle, and so people were like, was this a little I don't know if it was intentional, but it was certainly exciting to talk about on the internet. Anyway,
interesting.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool. Anyway, that isn't have to do with Adam at all, but I'm very excited about Adam and Gaga starring in a movie together. Like,
oh my
I could not be more excited about that.
Explosive.
And I am dying for more details.
Yes.
Okay. Speaking of details, last bit of Adam news I have is that we have a little bit more information about the film that he's shooting next, which is the Noah Baumbach film. He is so the name of the film is called White Noise. It is an adaptation of a Don DeLillo novel. Okay. And this is the first film that Noah Baumbach, according to this, the first film from Noah Baumbach that it was not an original story by him. So he's adapting the story. Apparently it's going to be filming in June. Here is a plot synopsis. So I'm just going to prepare you. It sounds fucking bananas. Okay. A brilliant satire of mass culture and the numbing effects of technology, White Noise tells the story of Jack Gladney, played by Adam Driver, a teacher of Hitler studies at a liberal arts college in Middle America. Your face already, you are not on board.
Hitler studies?
I know. I was like, I'm hoping this is going to be handled in a way that is delicate or relevant, or I'm not really sure. I haven't read this novel. So he's teaches in Middle America. Okay, so Jack and his fourth wife, Babette, played by Greta Gerwig, bound by their love, fear of death, and 4 ultra-modern offspring, navigate the rocky passages of family life to the background babble of brand name consumerism. Then, so there's more. But wait, there's more. Then, a lethal black chemical cloud, unleashed by an industrial accident, floats over their lives, an airborne toxic event that is more urgent and visible. An urgent and visible white noise engulfing the Gladneys. The radio transmission, sirens, microwaves, and teamy murmurings that constitute the music of American magic and dread. That's the synopsis. It's from some kind of production announcement.
Holy fuck. What?
What the fuck? What in the fucking fuck is that about? Now, to be honest, if somebody had given me a similar plot synopsis to The Dead Don't Die, I would have been like, what the fucking fuck is this about? So I feel like I'm just gonna roll with it. I mean, obviously we're gonna watch it.
Something I have to see.
I have to see it. incomprehensible to me. But obviously,
but like in a good way. Like I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
There are not
I'm
a lot of
intrigued. I'm
there are
intrigued.
not a
I'm a
lot of
little like
movies that
Hitler
are
study.
really
What is
like,
that? But
yeah,
whatever. I mean,
like
there's
why is
probably
that
something
there?
satirical in that. I'm gonna guess. There's something satirical in there. I'm interested in Noah Baumbach doing a movie that's not about himself or divorce. Given that that's a common theme in his movies, or midlife crisis. Although this sounds like it has the potential for a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
4 children. He's only
For
37. That's
ultra modern
I mean, I guess
children.
I have 3 kids, so I guess
It makes them sound like robots, though. Ultra modern.
Anyway, I believe this book is from the 1980s. So,
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
or the book was written in the 1980s. So I don't know if this is going to be a period film or if they're going to modernize it. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. It sounds fucking bananas, and I mean, Adam is like, I feel like not Adam is not picking safe projects, and I'm that's cool, you know. I mean, he did The Last Duel, which is like, kind of a period piece kind of thing, and
He always
he's
picks
doing
interesting stuff.
65, yeah, which is more of a sci-fi thing, and this movie sounds crazy, and he's doing the Gucci thing, so I think he picks interesting things, and uh, yeah, I it sounds like a wild ride.
Yeah.
So that's all the Adam and Andy news that I have for today.
Nice. I
Yeah.
like it.
Um,
It's exciting.
would you like to talk about today's movie?
Yes.
So we haven't mentioned this at all since we began this recording, but today's movie is This Is Where I Leave You.
Yes.
So it's
This
an
is where I
Adam
leave
week.
you.
We're talking about This Is Where I Leave You. I think yet another. I feel like I say this all the time, but on Twitter I see this character come up a lot in terms of the fandom of Adam Driver. Phillip Altman is a character that is talked about a lot, so I think this is another. I wouldn't say he's as favorited as say Clyde Logan, but they definitely there's a lot of love.
Oh,
For
I like
Phillip
him
Altman.
more.
I'm excited to hear what you think because I actually watched this movie during my Adam Driver binge at the beginning of quarantine. So this is my second watch, and I feel like I got different things out of it this time because I was really watching. I mean, I was watching Adam before, but I was really like
What year did this come out?
2014. So this would have been
Okay.
during his time on Girls.
Okay.
But before Star Wars, or maybe while after he'd been cast in Star Wars, but Star Wars had not. I don't think Star Wars had not come out yet. So
I discovered that I have seen this before.
Oh, you have?
Yes,
I mean, it seems like
a while
your jam.
ago. Yeah. So I just had forgotten that I forgot the name of it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, so let's just dive right in. So this was written by Sean Levy, who is also a producer. He produces Stranger Things, produces and directs for Stranger Things, and lots of other stuff. I actually had his filmography up, but that of course was the first thing that I thought of. And written by Jonathan Topper, also I guess based on a novel.
Mm-hmm. By the same guy.
Yeah. Do you have any information about that? Because I just all I was that it was based on a novel. Oh, okay. Okay. I guess let's just dive right in, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you got on your list? Where should we start?
So I guess Jason Bateman is the main character, Judd.
Well, I feel
Altman.
like we could use this opportunity to maybe go through all the siblings.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could start with Jason Bateman. What would you like to say about this guy?
So Jason Bateman always plays the same character. Like in every movie and show he's in, it's like the same kind of slightly sad, slightly like someone who's very competent and reliable.
Reliable, yes.
But sad.
Yeah, I feel like this is another one of his in his wheelhouse of sad sack characters. I would say this is in the sad sack bucket. Like he's got a spectrum of sad sacks. There's like this guy, but then there's also like but it's there's also somebody like even on Arrested Development, he's a little bit of a down on his luck kind of guy, but not to the extent that he is in this movie. Like in this movie, they're just like, can we run over his dog also? Like, let's do everything we can to really just fuck with this guy's life. But yeah, I would say he's playing one of his stock sad sack characters that needs to grow, who's got to find himself. That's what I would say that this guy.
So it begins with
Judd Altman.
Judd, which is a great name. Just kidding. I'm sorry if your name is Judd.
You got something against Judd?
I don't like it because in the movie or the play or the musical Oklahoma, Judd is the name of the villain. So since I was a kid, I've always associated the name Judd with a villain.
So all Judds are bad to you then?
I guess so. I guess that name is just has like, yeah.
All right, so we've got Judd. Judd is down on his luck. He has a little problem at the beginning of the film, right in the first scene, which is his wife is fucking his boss,
sleeping with his boss,
like in his bed for a year.
Yeah.
Like my sister was here today watching this with me, and we were like, how do you not know someone's been fucking in your bed? Like, how do you not know that someone has been fucking in your bed?
I have no idea. I don't know. I've never lived with someone before, so I don't know what that is.
I feel like you'd get home and you'd be like,
I smell something else.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she changes the sheets. I don't know. I just feel like you'd know, like you would know. I mean, I don't know.
Also, if you're doing that, like, don't do it at your house. I mean, I'm not saying you should cheat. Don't cheat. Please don't cheat. But like,
for God's sakes, go to his place, fucking his Miata or whatever. You know, like, don't do it in your bed.
It's like
no,
like
they're
he
dumb.
could come home early anytime.
I mean, they must have wanted to get caught. And I promise you that I don't remember Dax Shepard's. Also, Dax Shepard, BT Dubs, also playing one of his stock characters, one of his stock asshole characters. I love Dax Shepard.
I love him so much. He's a sweet fucking heart.
I love him, I don't always love him as an ass. Like, he does great as an asshole character, but I love to see him in a more nuanced role. I know that's not what this role is, but I feel like on the show Parenthood, he was kind of a fucked up, you know, again, kind of like the baby brother who's like the fucked up kid in the family, but he had so much nuance and depth there. But I mean, I guess I gotta say right off the bat, it's not his fault. I feel like this movie, the script is not great, but the actors are great. The script is not great. And I would like to put a pin in that because I have a whole bullet point I want to go over with that. But I wish that Dax's character had a little more depth, but he's doing it competently. He's doing a great job. But anyway, I don't feel like that character is the type I feel like that's the guy who's just going to like ejaculate all over your bedroom. You know? Just everywhere. Like on the mirror. And like, I feel like you would know if he had been in your house fucking your wife. I'm just saying. For a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I was really pissed at Quinn. By the way, Quinn is his wife. Judd's wife.
Well, many of the female characters in this movie are really just like there to further Judd's story. So I feel like Quinn is in that category.
Yeah.
So we've got Judd. So Judd's wife cheating. So he loses his job, loses his wife, and then finds out that he's also lost his dad.
His dad died.
Yeah. That scene was very funny, I thought, where
the mom.
Jane Fonda's trying to like, it was sad, but also funny the way she like wanted to get rid of the intubation tube. So that's Judd.
Tina Fey, we're introduced to her character Wendy in that scene as well.
Yeah,
I love Tina Fey so much. You haven't watched a lot of her 30 Rock, have you?
Not
Like, not
as
the whole
much as
thing?
you have, but I haven't watched the whole
Okay.
thing, but I did go through a period where I was watching the episodes week to week, and then I just, like, kind of, fell off with it,
Yeah,
but
she is
I love
a
her.
really great comedic actress. And I think she got some more depth to this role than her character on 30 Rock. Like, there were definitely some moments of more.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
so Wendy is the, she's married, she's responsible, she's kinda sassy, she's got a couple kids who I never see anyone taking care of. It's that
yeah,
classic thing of, like, there's kids in this movie, but we don't deal with them unless it's for a joke. It's like,
yeah,
I mean, it's little things, this just annoys me as a parent. It's like when she
yeah.
and spoilers, when she goes across the street to stay with the boyfriend from, with Timothy Oliphant's character, we're like, she's coming home in the morning, and we're like, "Who's watching the baby while
Mhm.
she's there?"
'Cause her husband at
As
that
if
point has left.
because he's left. So it's as if women who have children can just waltz around this world with freedom. It's like that's not a thing.
Who wrote this? Oh, wait.
Yeah, very clearly.
Yeah.
Well, also, I don't want to get too off track here, but also when we find out Quinn is pregnant and she gets the ultrasound, she's like, she must be 20 weeks pregnant if they can find out the sex on an ultrasound, but she looks like her body doesn't look pregnant at all. There's not even a little bump there. It's like, Google it. Do you not know what a woman's body looks like when she's pregnant? Anyway, back to the siblings. So Wendy, she's responsible. She's got a couple kids. Her husband's a dick.
He's a big dick.
He's
Oh
busy with his career. He doesn't have time
God.
for his family. Um,
And she's still in love with her ex, who they both got in a terrible car accident, and he
when
ended
they were
up getting
teenagers.
bra bra brain damage, and then
Mhm.
she broke up with him
Or
and
a
went on
traumatic
to
a
move her.
traumatic brain injury, I think is the preferred terminology
Oh,
there. But yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry,
yeah, so he's
yes.
got a traumatic brain injury and he's got a scar, and it seems like he can still work, and his motor function is fine, but he has some memory loss, and it seems like perhaps
Mhm,
maybe he can't drive. Maybe I'm not sure if his mother has a guardianship over him or something, but he lives at her house.
mhm.
So
And that was something that really, like, upset me because I wanted her to just be with him. Like, the way he was portrayed in the film, he seemed fine except for some memory lapses, and, like, what's the big
yeah.
deal about that? Like, I don't know, and
Well,
if you love someone, like, why would that be a big deal? Like, or even if there's more, like, why would any of that be a big deal if you love someone?
sure. And I think I would have liked to see her get together with him as well, but the thing is she's still got that husband to deal with, and I didn't necessarily get, well, let's wait until we get to the end, but there is, suffice to say, there's some kind of love triangle here, although I couldn't even call it a triangle because her husband is not vying for her affection anyway. But she's got a husband, but she does still love this guy who was obviously like the love of her life.
Mhm.
Only she wanted to leave this. I don't even know where they are, like what town they're in. It's supposed to be kind of like a small town kind of thing, right? Maybe
But
somewhere
everyone wanted
outside
to
of New
leave.
York, some town outside of New York. But she wanted to leave, and she married this big businessman guy, and now she's, I mean, obviously wealthy enough to be driven to and from the airport. So maybe she's having difficulty giving that life up. I don't know. But either way, she would have to deal with the husband before she can even begin to deal with whatever is going on with her and that guy. But
Yeah. By the way, Timothy Oliphant, always had a thing for him. Very
they tried
cute.
to make him less hot, but they did not succeed. They were like, we're going to put a weird haircut on him.
The
And
scar on his face.
well, the scar, I think was
Yeah.
and honestly, I didn't notice the scar the first time. I noticed it
Mm,
the second time because I already knew about the injury.
yeah.
But they were like, yeah, how can we make him seem, I for whatever reason, they wanted to make him seem a little like less sophisticated, I think.
I mean, that
So
guy.
they put him in sweatpants
Yeah.
and
But I
they
love
gave him
sweatpants.
a sort of an unkempt hairdo. And I was like, you know what? Still hot.
Still hot.
Honorable mention for Timothy Oliphant for coming in with
Honorable mention.
coming in with the hotness. Like,
Mhm.
I'm always happy to see him in any film.
Yeah, me too. He's always the nice little surprise. Ooh,
And you're like, "Oh,
he's
there's
he's rarely the star.
I know, yeah. Well, he
What's
wasn't
with
he
that? He's
he was the
good and
star
he's
on
hot. Like,
Justified, right? The show Justified, he was the
I
star of
haven't
that,
seen
right?
that.
Well, I mean, get ready for some hotness. Um, I thought his
Ooh,
character had one of the more interesting storylines in the film, actually, like, of anyone. Even though he was a
yeah,
side character, he had, like,
yeah,
one of the more interesting storylines.
yeah.
So that's Wendy. Then we've got Paul, who's actually the eldest brother.
Corey Stoll.
Right.
By the way,
He was on Girls.
I never have ever. I had to look up his name. I never have known his name. No one ever says his name. Like, he's in so many things,
I know. He
but no
really
one
is.
knows who he
Okay,
is. Like,
I gotta wrap myself. I gotta ensconce myself in a blanket real quick. Sorry. Ooh, ooh. All right. Yeah, no. I agree. He's a great actor. I like him a lot.
mhm,
But yeah, I also found myself going, "What's that guy's name again?"
yeah,
So Paul and his wife, played by Catherine Hahn,
Annie.
who was as wonderful and delightful as
I
always.
love her. Yes,
And they are so Paul's like the responsible older brother who is running the family business, which is a sporting goods store, right?
hmm, yep.
And he and his wife are trying to have a baby, but they're having trouble. They're having some fertility issues.
And she's gotten her eggs checked and she's fine, but he has refused to get
He will
himself
not.
checked.
He will not get that dick checked or that sperm checked. I guess more specifically, what's inside the dick is really what they need to check. Dick seems to work fine according to that baby monitor.
Yeah, the dick is fine, but the balls.
The balls maybe.
I question the balls.
Maybe we just need to check and see what's going on with the sauce in the balls. That's it.
Mhm.
That might be the problem. Anyway, so there a lot of stuff about fertility in this film.
Yeah.
They're having fertility issues. Judd and Quinn had lost a baby.
And then she gets pregnant again with his baby.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um,
But yeah, so that's I guess anything else to say about Paul? He's kind of a stick in the mud. Your average
yeah, I just don't like that
stick
character.
in the mud character.
Just
Well, I
do
mean,
not like his
I think he was
character.
supposed to be kind of a
Yeah, and there's actually a whole
antagonist.
scene where they talk about how he's not fun.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and so it's like, yeah, he's not fun.
No, he's definitely not. But I do like him, and I think he did like the actor. I think he did a good job.
Yeah.
I think it would have been cool if the script were better. If we'd seen Paul maybe take a little bit more of a leadership role in the family, because if all of the siblings are coming from out of town, you'd think that Paul would be there, like kind of really stepping in to take care of stuff. And other than
He
the
was
fact that he
more on the
runs the
side.
family business, I didn't really see him taking that on that role because presumably he'd be visiting his mother a lot. It obviously Wendy was probably. It seems like Wendy was helping take care of the parents at the end of Dad's
Mhm.
life, but yeah, I feel like if Paul is the responsible older brother, we could have seen a little bit more in the way of like what he does for the family that's good besides boss everyone around.
Mhm.
You know? I did enjoy his conflicts with Philip though. That was like my favorite part of that character was the sort of the push and pull between Philip and can we get to Philip? Can we talk about
Philip.
Philip?
Yeah.
I could talk about Philip endlessly, and thank God I have a podcast where I have an outlet to do that. But I'm going to let you go first, Sarah. What would you like to say about Philip, played by our guy Adam Driver?
He's like the fuck up kid
Mhm.
who like
He's
they
the
have to kind
bad
of take
boy.
care of him. He's the bad boy.
He wears
He
black. And he shows up to the funeral late, and he's got black pants on, and he's got a black fast car.
yeah, and he's just I think every family has like not every but like most families have like the kid or like the cousin who like people are like, oh yeah, they need extra help, like the family has to like come together to like pay
Mhm.
for them or take care of them
He's
or
like the
swoop in when they make a mistake or they fail in some way.
right. He's like
um
the bad boy baby brother of the family.
yes,
The baby brother that
yes,
isn't 'cause doesn't quite have it. He hasn't quite grown up yet.
Yeah. So I I think that yeah, he did so Adam did a great job of portraying the he is kind of slightly goofy and outgoing, and he
Yeah.
wasn't completely like bad boy. He was kind of a goofball too.
Yeah, I think, and this is one of the things on my list of things that I wanted to talk about regarding this film. I think that I think this is again another instance where you have a character who, if you were just to read him on the page, I feel like would be really unlikable. I mean, let's like take stock here, right? He shows up to the funeral late. He immediately takes all the attention away onto himself. He's constantly antagonizing his older brother.
Mhm.
He
Cheats
is
on his
cheating on his
fiance.
beautiful fiance, played by Connie Britton, who is a fucking goddess, right?
Yes.
They
Yes.
had really good chemistry too. When he's like
Yeah, they
grabbing her
did.
butt at the
Yeah.
beginning, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's hot."
Yeah.
Sorry, I hope I didn't take away any of your moments of thirst. But
No,
anyway,
no,
they
go
had
ahead.
really good chemistry, him and Connie Britton. I mean, honestly, I feel like Adam Driver can make me believe that he has chemistry with like a sack of like quarters. Like that's how
Mhm.
good he is. Like I've never
Yeah.
seen him not have chemistry with someone. I think he just like always has chemistry. Like it's not
Yeah.
possible for him to not have chemistry.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen all of his films yet, so I might be proven wrong, but I doubt it. Anyway, yeah, he cheats on his fiance. He's obviously like he's selfish, he's narcissistic, you know, like we shouldn't like him, but yet I like him
He's
maybe
adorable.
the most.
I like him the most
And
too.
it's not just because I mean it is because of Adam Driver, but I mean I like Wendy a lot too, but
I like Wendy as well.
I feel like when he's on screen, it's like I just want to watch him and I don't really care
Yeah.
what else is happening. Like there was
Yeah.
literally a part where we're watching the movie and somebody was talking. I think Tina Fey was like breaking up a fight between him and someone else. And Chris was and my sister were watching this with me and they were like joking about her and her like parenting voice and I was like, "Ooh, I didn't hear anything she said." I was just like staring at Adam Driver the whole time. Like I did not hear what she said. So it was like so I think Adam really brings that quality again that we see time and time again and I think Kylo Ren is another example of this where I shouldn't like this character. On the page, he's a fucking dick. If he was played by somebody else that didn't give him this goofiness, this vulnerability, this sweetness, this like charming, if he wasn't charming and sweet and goofy,
Mhm.
I would probably hate this guy.
Yeah. It's true.
So I think that's one of his very special skills as an actor is to take someone who shouldn't like and make him someone I like probably the most out of everybody in this family.
Does he know? Do you think that's his aim, or do you think that's just something that he just does on it, like, just naturally, or does he think about it and go, "I wanna make a character that is dislikable, likable"?
I think that he's conscious of the fact that three-dimensional human beings don't see themselves as the bad guy. Like he has said this a number of times about the character Kylo Ren. Like it's not interesting when you go out and say I'm going to play a bad guy. You know, like I think that he is constantly trying to add depth and complexity to the characters that he plays. I think that the charm, I think some of the characteristics that make him so likable are part of him and
Yeah.
what he adds. I don't think he probably takes that and reads it and goes, "Oh, this guy, I have to play him a certain way, or people aren't going to like him." I don't think that's
Mhm.
something he's concerned about.
No, I actually have heard quotes from him saying that he wants people to dislike his characters, or not wants them to, but, like, he doesn't care if they like his characters.
I think the important thing is that Adam cares about his characters.
Yeah.
And so I don't think he cares what if other people do, but because he cares about them, then those characters end up being rendered with love and care and concern for making them a whole person and not just like a cartoonish, you know, I'm the bad boy. Like if he was just came in there and was like, I'm the bad boy and I cheat on my like I'm the one who takes everyone's attention away and like if he just came in here and that was all he was, then it wouldn't be very interesting. And I just don't think
Yeah.
that's his
No, I mean,
approach
and that's
to
definitely
acting.
like every person is on their own side. Like every
Yep.
person thinks that they're doing the best that they can. And
Mhm.
if they have low self-esteem and think they're not doing the best they can, they feel bad about that. Like unless they're a sociopath and th- I mean,
And I think we
uh
do see him experience some conflict about, when he shows, because I mean, he's trying to help out his brother in his own way. Like we haven't really gotten into Rose Byrne's character yet, but when he drops Judd off at the skating rink, like he takes him there to drop him off, but also he's got this side mission, which is to track down that girl from the Shiva and fuck her, right? But he's
mhm.
sitting outside the apartment saying, "Don't get out of the car, Philip. Don't get out of the car, Philip." So I do think he's conflicted about, he knows when he's doing something wrong, but it doesn't stop
Mhm.
him from doing it.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the Shiva, or that's the whole point of that's why they all come together is that the
Right.
dad's dying wish, supposedly,
Right.
is that they all sit Shiva 7 days after he dies.
Right. Yes, correct. And that's why they're all there together. And gosh, there's just so many good actors in this movie. We've also got
Yeah.
Ben Schwartz, who's
Oh my
playing
gosh.
the rabbi. Oh my
Charles
god.
Grodner, aka
Or
Boner.
Boner, as I first of all, the scene at the temple was amazing, because as a person who is ethnically Jewish but doesn't go to temple. Anytime I've had to go to a temple, I am like them. Like I'm sitting there, but I don't fucking know and the words to anything.
Mhm.
I don't know any of the shit that I'm supposed to do. And so that, for me and my sister, we found very funny, because we're like, this is exactly like when we go to like a cousin's, bar mitzvah or something, and we're like, I don't. But my whole family is like that. Like there's like a few of us that have actually know what you're supposed to do next. But most of us are all looking at each other like, I don't know what to do next to you. So that was very funny to me. But also just Ben Schwartz he was
I
great.
love him.
He was
And he was so, like, trying to be, like, professional and just being like, "No, I'm not Boner.
trying to
Stop it."
rise above being picked on by this whole
Yeah,
family, and it was so cute.
yeah. I love
Um,
him.
all right. So we haven't talked about Jane Fonda's character yet, and I think we should. My first question to you is, how do we feel about everyone calling her mommy? Like, literally the first thing Philip says when he gets out of the car is, he holds his arm out and besides shit, 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 is mommy, mommy.
Um,
How do we feel about grown
I
people
my
calling their mom mommy?
I think that's fine actually because, like, I don't call my mom that, but I did for most of my life, and I don't have a I don't have any problems with those words, mommy and dad and daddy. Like, I don't have anything with those
It's a
words.
little cringy for me. I'll be honest. It's a little cringy for me. And when Adam Driver says it, there's something like sexual about it to me. And I know
Maybe
I'm not the
you
only
have
one.
maybe you have hangups about those words.
I wouldn't say they're hangups. I'm just saying, like, when you're over the age of 25, I think when you say mommy or daddy over the age of 25, it crosses into some other headspace that I think is just it's questionable. It crosses over there for me into this weird zone of I don't want to call it Freudian, because Freud is a crock of shit, but you know what I'm saying, right? Um, so that and the just the constant use of Jane Fonda's
The
breasts,
boobs. Yeah.
which was her boobs are fantastic.
Are those
Like,
real?
yes. Well, she's been very open about the fact that she's had work done on them, but yeah,
Oh, I had no idea.
her boobs are amazing. Like, good God,
I mean, they
woman.
definitely looked fake, but
Well, she's had work done on them, so yeah, they're
yeah.
not. You know, that
Well,
you
I thought that they were fake for, like, the film. I thought that she had,
Oh,
like,
no. No.
prosthetics or something.
No, 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 no.
Interesting.
But
Yeah, no, I did
this is quite an impressive
like
rack for a 70-something-year-old woman.
yeah, I mean, I did like how they were all, like, trying to be like, "Stop it." Like, they were all uncomfortable by her
Yeah.
talking about sexuality and stuff. They were all like, "Ah," which is
Well,
appropriate.
yeah, she was pretty inappropriate. Also,
Yeah.
she created this environment in her family where her kids felt like they were it's the thing that I fear about my own family, which is that when you're a writer, you draw from your own life, and but do the people in your life want to be part of that? Like she wrote some I don't know that they ever specified what it was, but I was guessing it was something about sexuality. I don't know if it was a psychological book, I'm not really sure, but
I don't think it was about sexuality.
pseudo-psych
I think that
maybe?
she just included a lot of their sexual stuff in the book. So it might have been about their family,
Mhm.
but it didn't seem like it was a sexual book. I mean, it might
Was
might
it a
have been,
memoir?
but
Like, I couldn't really figure out
memoir,
what the
probably.
I don't couldn't really figure it out, but anyway, she was very successful with her book, but the point is she shared all these, like, embarrassing stories about them, and they felt like I imagine they feel, couldn't the movie never tackles this, like, they joke about it, and they clearly weren't comfortable with it, and there's gotta be a reason why Judd didn't tell his mother that he was getting divorced. But
Yeah, they didn't really spell it out.
they never really deal with what the emotion is there regarding how they feel about all their secrets being spilled by their mother, other
That
than
was
the
just
fact
like
that it was awkward.
it was, like, mentioned in one scene and then not addressed again.
Yeah, they joked about it a couple times, but I feel like that's a pretty big breach of trust, but it's certainly something that I worry about, like, if I'm writing a character, that has children and those personalities are similar to the children in my own house, like, how are they gonna feel about that? Is that something that they are comfortable with, they
Yeah.
didn't ask to be put into that story,
But the difference is that you're writing fictional stuff and your characters are some of it is like people and some of it is not like people and so there's like they're not based on actual like real like hers is a memoir where people know, oh, this is your child. Like
Mhm.
this story is actually something that occurred to your child. So I think there's a a difference.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not entirely I don't have a good handle on what anyone's relationship is with their parents in this movie. Obviously we see Judd avoiding thinking about his dad because of
Mhm.
I imagine it's very painful. I mean, I think the most we get is that conversation about the forehead touch, which I actually thought was really
Mhm.
nice and one of the
Yeah.
nice and had a really nice payoff at the end as well. That the fact that Philip says that they didn't ever their dad never kissed them, he would only give them a forehead touch.
Which
Uh
I don't have a problem with. Like, I don't think I've ever, like, as an adult or even a kid I mean, my dad probably kissed my brother when he was, like, a baby, but, like
It's funny. This is a point of contention between me and my husband because his family doesn't kiss each other, but both sides of my family kiss all the time, like kiss each other as a greeting, as a goodbye. Chris is really freaked out by it and he doesn't like it, but it's like when I see my mother or my dad, obviously we're not doing it now because of COVID, but we kiss on the lips. I mean, this is just something it's not a like a make out
I
thing. It's
know.
like a pet.
You're one of the kiss on the lips families, and
Yes,
there's
I have
a
my
non-kiss
mom
on the
is
lips families,
Italian,
yeah.
my mom's Italian, my dad is Jewish, and I think it's just like a cultural thing, like when we see each other, we kiss on the lips, and
Yeah,
Chris doesn't like it, and my
yeah.
kids got accustomed to doing that, so that's just like a thing that we do,
Mhm.
Um
Yeah, we don't like, my mom liked to give me kisses on the cheek when I was a kid, but I was like, "Ah," like, I, like, didn't want kisses. Like, I am someone who I only want to be kissed by like, even on the cheeks or whatever, by the person I'm from romantically or sexually involved with.
Is
So
this
like
why
any
you won't kiss me, Sarah?
yeah. I'm
Just
sorry,
kidding. I've
Nicole.
never
I'm not
tried.
interested
Never
in
tried.
being sexually involved with you.
Well, it's not
Um,
sexual. I mean, you are my wife, so I mean,
okay. That's true. That's true. No, I
a
just like
platonic kiss. I'm
I've
just
had a
kidding. I'm
few
not gonna pressure you into
yeah.
doing that.
No, I've had a few friends who have kissed me, and it's just like it's
I
just
don't kiss my friends on the lips. I don't. I mean, it's only my
well,
family.
so I mean, even on the cheeks. I don't know. I just have this weird like prudish thing about kissing.
It's not prudish. It's just
Um,
like what you're accustomed to, you know? Like I didn't even think it was I didn't think anything of it until Chris mentioned it to me when we had
mhm.
kids and he was like, "So are they gonna have to kiss your parents on the lips or," and we don't make them do anything. Like, you know, if they don't want to, they don't have to do that. It's just a
Yeah.
thing
I
they
mean, I
got
think
used to doing. But they all know that he doesn't do it. They all know that my
yeah.
husband doesn't do it because they talk about it. They're like, Daddy doesn't kiss people on the lips."
Yeah. Well, I think it's probably healthier not to sexualize touch.
No.
Like I feel like we really in our society have sexualized all touch,
Mhm.
and
But at the same time, I
that's
wanna say my kids have body autonomy, and if they don't wanna greet someone that way, like,
oh yeah.
we don't force them to do that because
Yeah,
that's
for
fucked.
sure. And like when Charlotte kisses me, I turn my cheek and
Right,
she
I'm pretty
kisses me
sure
on the
she's tried to
cheek.
go in for the lips.
No, but I'm fine because like she's a kid and it's sweet. It's like not
Well, we
this,
told her, like,
you know.
"Don't do that with everybody."
Yeah,
I feel like we got sidetracked there, but, so I'm
I'm
not
so
really
sorry. I'm
clear
so sorry.
on.
Oh my gosh.
No. This is we were talking about it, but what I wanted to circle back to was I'm not really clear on what their relationship is with their father. Like obviously Judd didn't go see his father at the end of his life because he was worried about uh his father's opinion of him. Um but it doesn't seem like they have a bad relationship with their family. I'm just not clear on what it is.
Yeah, it's not bad. He just doesn't want to share stuff with them, but he never explains why. And then we
Well, I
have
get it.
the
I think it's because he's not ready to grieve. That's how I interpreted it. Like he didn't want he I feel like Judd was at his maximum limit for grieving at that point. Like he had
yeah,
lost his job, he had lost his wife. And I think he just hit a place where he's like, I can't dig up anymore. I can't dig at the
yeah,
scab any further.
yeah,
And later after he electrocutes himself and he has that flat memory, then it seems like he's ready to like let that out all over
yeah,
his
and that
mom's
was a very sweet
enormous boobs.
memory,
Yeah.
which, like, I feel like a forehead touch the way that was is a lot more intimate than just, like, a little peck on the lips or cheek,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
that's what I wanted to say about that forehead touch, which I think was one of my favorite aspects of this movie, and a movie that again I think was written. Not the, I mean, the dialogue is good in some places and bad in some other places.
Bad in some places, yeah.
The plot is super. It's like I want to get to this. I want to circle back to this, but I feel like the plot is like how many tropes can we hit in one movie? Like it's very tropey. But I what I liked about the forehead touch was that it sounded on the surface like it wasn't intimate at all.
Yeah,
But when we see it, it actually feels very intimate and
yeah,
loving. And then at the end, and I get a little emotional just talking about the scene because I think this is one of the most effective scenes in the movie when Judd and Philip when he touches Philip's forehead with his at the end. And again, I think this is the actors really excel in this movie where the script is just okay. It's
yeah,
not terrible.
yeah,
It's an okay script.
yeah,
And that scene between the brothers is so really got me. Like it was very
yeah,
emotional and made it felt actually very intimate. And it was nice to see that I think the point was some families have their own way of communicating and what sounds like it's kind of weird to other people on the outside actually is something that's really meaningful to the people inside the family.
yeah. I thought it was very sweet. That's, you'll yeah.
What else you got on your list?
So, let's see. Mention all the characters. Um, so I think one of the scenes that the dialogue was probably the worst
Oh, is this the
was
romantic scenes?
the scene between Tina Fey and Timothy Olyphant where they're discussing
Oh.
their it's very like I could have gotten that they were in the car together and that she had in so
Yeah, it
few
was
like
very
fewer words,
so
much
clumsy.
fewer
It was
words.
very clumsy, yeah.
I was like I got there before they actually said it out loud. So
Yeah, and I for a second there, I thought you were gonna talk about Rose Byrne's character, who we haven't mentioned. Her name
oh
is
yeah,
Penny,
Rose Byrne's
and you
character,
know
of
why we haven't mentioned
course,
her
of
is
course.
because she's not a human woman, she's a plot
Yeah,
device.
yeah,
She is like the grown-up version of the Manic Pixie Dream Girl,
yes,
and so I think now maybe is a good place to talk about the tropes
okay,
and how tropey this movie is. So I actually wrote down this is like somebody took several Hallmark movies and combined them together. Let me
okay,
tell. So here's a couple of the tropes that we're working with here. Obviously, we've got family forced together by the death of a loved one,
mhm,
right? Fine,
yep,
great. That's the topic of the movie, no
classic,
problem. Classic. We've got catching your wife cheating in your own bed.
yep, got it,
Yep, check that off. Um, several rooftop confessions,
okay, Rooftop Confessions,
right?
definitely,
Of course, even Philip. I think Adam Driver transcends the trope, but just the fact that Philip is the screw up baby brother, that's
mhm,
very tropey. And
mhm,
as well as Paul being the responsible, uptight older brother is also
yes,
very, I get that these things exist in real life, but it's like, how many movies have I seen where this has been the plot? And they're all
yeah,
crammed into the same movie. Also, uh, going, sneaking off to, grown-ups, adult people sneaking off to smoke weed in a place that they shouldn't,
mhm,
very tropey.
mhm,
Especially
yep,
adult people going off to smoke weed in a movie about a family drama that's because of the death of a loved one. I feel like that is just extra tropey. And
mhm,
then lastly, and this brings us to Rose Byrne, the small town gal you left behind, who's kind of quirky and cool and can show you what you're missing. That's all she
yep,
is.
got it,
She doesn't
yep,
have any opinions or feelings. It doesn't make sense why she gets mad, why his wife is pregnant. It's like, I can see her being like,
that's his wife,
ooh, right. But I can see her being like, ooh, that's complicated and I don't want to get involved. Like, that seems like a normal reaction. But for her to actually get angry about it, I don't see why. I mean, they're not in a relationship.
no, they just had sex one time,
And I don't think it's a deal breaker unless you're like, I don't want to get involved with a guy who's got a kid on the way. That makes sense, but I don't see why she gets angry about it.
yeah,
What the fuck
because
is that about?
it's almost as if it's like, oh, well, I guess it's like reminding her that he used to have feelings for his wife, and I don't know, but it didn't
Obviously, and she got pregnant before they
before, yeah,
separated, so
yeah,
it doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
yeah,
Also, just like the whole like, I'm so cute and I look at me, I work in a roller skating rink, and
and I'm
like,
very honest and goofy and,
I think the
yeah,
thing I hate like the one of the lines I hate the most is when they're in bed together and she's like, don't freak out. And he's like, how do you know I'm freaking out? You can't see me. And she's like, oh, I see you. I see you, Judd Altman. And I'm like, barf. Like, that is just like that. I just feel like the way the dialogue is written, like, have you ever met a human woman? Like, it just doesn't, it seemed, Rose Byrne is a great actor and she was doing her best and she's charming and funny. And I think she did the best she could. Also, that speech at the end, I just
yeah,
like
yeah. Also
barf
him
all
saying
over that.
like Judd saying like, "I think we could love each other like that." It's
Ew,
not like, "I
you slept
love
with her
you." It's like,
once.
I think it's just like,
Also, the way he's like, I'm gonna take like 6 months a hiatus from this and do some other stuff, and then I'll call you in 6 months. And she's just like, that's great. I hope you do. And it's like, as if she doesn't have anything else going on in her life. Like, which
yeah.
she literally doesn't. Like, anytime he needs her, she's right there.
Mhm.
He shows up at her house, she's got no other plans. He shows up at work, there's nobody else there. It's like she's just like this woman that was like pulled from the fictional woman ether of women used for plot devices and to further a male character's story. They just plucked her from the clouds and just dropped her in this movie, and she has really no interests or motivations or a function of her own outside of Judd. And I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, like, I get if you're a man and you're writing a story and there's like wish fulfillment that's there, that makes sense. I'm sure that I write characters like that all the time that are men, but I guess I'm just tired of seeing it because it's always in my face. It's like fucking crammed in my face all the time. That was the weakest part of the movie to me, was that romance. It was just bleh, barf. Even though I love Rose Byrne and Jason Bateman, they were great together. They're great actors, but the writing of that was the weakest of this whole movie.
For sure. I agree.
So those are all the tropes. I don't know if you saw any other tropes that I missed.
No, I mean, those are definitely, there are definitely tropes. I didn't think of it in terms of tropes, but I did. My subconscious, when I saw it was based on a book, I was like, oh, it's like a Nicholas Sparks book. Even though it wasn't written by Nicholas Sparks, but it does have that kind of vibe.
It's like this would be a Hallmark movie if it didn't have this cast in it. Like the production and the cast elevate this movie above what would be a Hallmark movie, but if you just read it on paper, it could easily be a Hallmark film, I feel like.
For sure.
Well, minus all the fucking and stuff. There's a lot of fucking.
Yeah. And we didn't mention that Annie, Paul's wife, tries to get Judd to impregnate her because she suspects that her husband Paul can't produce offspring.
His juice is not high octane enough, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and apparently she also used to date Philip.
No, she used to date Judd.
I thought she used to date.
She dated Judd, but Philip makes fun of that. Did Philip have
sex with her?
No, Philip is agitating Paul, the older brother, by pointing out that Annie used to date Judd. He just keeps doing it to fuck with him. No, Philip had no prior relationship with Annie, which is why she goes to Judd. It's an easy thing to do, you know.
Yeah,
I guess,
and that's why
again, it's a little
Paul
weird.
is more like, "Did you kiss her?" You know, when he sees them. Yeah. And then at the end.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good time to get to the end here because we are.
Jane Fonda is not Jane Fonda, but the mom is having a relationship with Linda.
Neighbor. Yes, Timothy Oliphant's mother, which I thought was fine. I think what bothered me about that was that the way that there was a fight going on and the kiss, their reveal of their relationship was kind of used as a distraction from the fight.
Yeah.
And there was something about that bothered me.
Yeah.
I like the whole idea that, you know, she would be in love with her neighbor and they've known each other for years and they, you know, want to be in a relationship and they want to be together now that their husbands are gone. That all I think makes sense. I just didn't care for like,
it was just a dramatic
kiss in the middle
movie reveal.
But it felt very like, it felt like I don't like if they're having fights because her girl, like the woman she loves feels like she wants her to reveal herself to her family. That seems to be what they were fighting about, right? Before, when Jane Fonda and the neighbor are having a fight.
I don't remember that.
They have a fight. Maybe you missed it because there's a lot going on in this movie. But they have a fight. And it seems like they're probably fighting about the relationship and the fact that the kids don't know about it. So I just don't feel, I feel like as if it were me and I was in her place and the first time that I'm being revealed to the family is as a distraction from a fight, I would feel hurt.
She does kind of like,
I would feel hurt by that. Like I'm just being used as a tool or something. Whereas to honor their relationship, I feel like would be to tell them. And I get this is a movie, but I feel like especially when you're dealing with LGBT relationships, we don't want to take it to a place where it's just about it being salacious.
Yeah.
I think there's a danger there where you want to be careful and not make it about that, because that's, again, it's not tropey. Tropey is the wrong word for it. It's an abuse that has existed in
Yeah.
stories all over
Yeah.
time, where gay and lesbian relationships or transgender relationships are used as something salacious.
Mhm.
And so that, I think that's what bothered me about it particularly.
Yeah. And I also didn't like how one of the kids, I forget who it was, um said that some little aside about how mom decided to be a lesbian all of a sudden or something like that,
Mm.
and that just really like bugs me, because it's like, why does she have to be a lesbian? Why can't she be bi? Why can't she be queer? Like, why is it like all or 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 not or nothing?
Yeah, totally. I do think that it probably would be within the character of that somebody to say something like that, in the sense that they don't get it, because
Yeah,
they're like, they're stuck in their sort of heteronormative.
that's true.
But I was mad. I feel like the writer could have done better. The writer
Yeah,
has a responsibility to do better than
yeah.
that. Um, yeah, I think, oh, last thing I wanted to say, and then I think we should probably get to the end, because we've been talking for a while here. I did want to ask you how you felt about, so Philip and his therapist.
Oh God, we didn't even talk about that. Yeah,
Um, so
ex-therapist.
ex-therapist. So I will say what I did like is that I think commonly we see, I mean, he was basically a sugar baby, right? She bought that car, right?
Oh my God, sugar baby, that's so cute.
I mean, but what I'm saying is, in most movies, the sugar baby is a woman. It's a sugar
Mhm.
daddy and a sugar baby. And now
I
he,
love the name sugar baby. I'm sorry, I've never heard that
you
before.
have it? I
No.
read a lot of fics, you guys. So I feel like I appreciated seeing a woman being the one in that power struggle, who's like, a little older. And I want to get to the older thing, because I don't think they're even that much older. The woman who's like in a position of like, she's got it together, and she's, got money, and she's the one who's buying the car for her younger lover or whatever. I appreciated that part of it. I do think that, again, it's like, I don't think Philip and, I don't remember the character's name, but Connie Britton's character, I don't think they were that far apart in age. Like, they're maybe like, he's late 20s, she's in her 40s. But the fact that everybody kept making such a big deal about the age was a little weird, because they're not that far apart in age. And not like, if he was like 22, then it would have been like, oh, what's happening here?
Well,
But
2014, so that was
I'm
7 years
I'm
ago,
just
so he would have
basing
been
this
20 something.
I'm basing this on what I feel like the movie, to me, it looks like he's in his late 20s, maybe
Mhm.
27, 28, and she's in her maybe mid 40s. And that
Yeah.
is a large number of years, but at that age, by the time you're getting closer to 30, I don't think that matters. And there were so many other things for them to be scandalized about, like the fact that she used to be his therapist, and that she's buying him a bunch of stuff, and he's a fuck up, and maybe he's using her for her money or whatever. I don't think
Yeah.
that's true. I don't
Yeah,
think he's
no.
with her because of that. But anyway, it was just another thing where I was like, oh God, are we really going to make a big deal about a almost 30-year-old man in a relationship with a woman in her 40s? Like, she's just not that old.
Well, I will say that when it comes to younger guys, like, when I was dating, like, if a guy was even, like, 4 years younger than me, it was, like, very noticeable that they were, like, way more
Oh,
immature
sure.
and,
Oh, for
so
sure. But I just mean it. I don't feel like there's anything necessarily scandalous about it, about the
no,
age gap. It's like,
no.
at that point,
Yeah.
it's like, you know. Anyway, anything else that you wanted to say about Adam or Philip and his
Philip,
therapist?
just, yeah. Yeah, that was,
His fiance.
I did
They break up,
like
of
the
course.
yeah, I did like the part where, Jason Bateman told her, um, "You are not the first woman to believe in Philip, but you are the best."
That was sweet and weird, a little weird
Weird.
for to. I mean, it's like be
It's
on
like,
your brother's side a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
but also saying like you should have your shit together. Like you're so good that you shouldn't have believed in him. I guess.
I mean,
I
the
don't know.
movie posits multiple times that he has mommy issues. You know, he is like they're trying to. I think they're trying to make a connection between the woman taking care of him and the fact that apparently his own mother wasn't around because he says that he was raised by his sister,
Wendy. Yeah.
which was a great scene between the two of
Yeah.
them. We didn't mention this, but Adam Driver is very funny in a way that isn't like he's not trying to push the comedy.
Yeah.
He's just is very funny. Like he has great line delivery and he made the most of the lines he was given. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Final thoughts on This Is Where I Leave You. Where should we leave us on This Is Where I Leave You?
I would leave this movie as maybe like 3 out of 5 fuck ups. I don't know.
3 out of 5 Porsches on a scale
of no Porsches to 5 Porsches. I would say it was very pleasant and enjoyable, but it was not deep and profound and thought provoking and meaningful to me. It was just like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, like, I think it was a movie that did not offend me.
Yes.
I mean, other than the fact that the writing was
there were a few offensive things, but it just wasn't I
mean, it's not offensive in the sense that it's a light. It doesn't make me question my own feelings about life too deeply. Yeah. It was amusing. It had the cast was fantastic. I think the acting in the movie is really what was the best thing about the movie.
For sure.
Would you watch it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch it again. I'd watch it again mostly for Adam Driver. Like I don't need to watch it again because I need to look at this movie a third time.
Tina Fey as well. I didn't mention this, but I really do love Tina Fey in this.
I think if you're a fan of Adam and you haven't seen this movie, I definitely recommend it. Like for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Great Adam moments. In fact, I think, and like you said, Tina Fey is great. As a fan of Adam Driver, I would say this is a film that I quite enjoyed watching because of him.
Yes.
I think that where this film really excels for me is in fulfilling my thirst for Adam Driver, for quenching my thirst, which I think means that it's a good time for us to talk about our moments of thirst. I actually have 6. I have 6.
Ooh, wow.
I feel like this movie was super thirsty. Like, I don't know if it's just the mood I'm in, but I feel like Phillip Altman is like, he's like eye candy. He's like candy that's being dangled in front of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's very cute in this.
So, who should go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
I didn't include. So I have 3 moments, but I didn't include any moments where he's being a dick. Like none of those moments where he, like when he shows up late to the funeral, or when he like does anything, when he flirts with that other woman, or does anything where he's like a big dick. Like that doesn't.
I know you don't like it.
Thirst.
That doesn't make you thirsty. Yeah.
What does? So my first one is when they get high and he's like goofy, and other goofy moments, like they're just like, I think the first half of the movie he's more like, I'm a bad boy, I'm a dick, like and then like the last half is like he's just goofy and cute and sweet and stuff.
He just straight up goofy laughs a couple of times. He has this really cute goofy laugh.
Yes, so cute. And then 2, when
like he gets so delighted with the fighting in the front yard. Like he's just delighted by the fact that Judd and Paul are fighting. And that's
2 is the when he tells Tina Fey's character, "You're the voice in my head."
That was so sweet.
And there's just something sweet about his face, his expression, the way he like looks at her, and like she's short, so like the shot is kind of like from a lower angle, just like ooh, like he's just like.
I feel like there was one downside of that scene, and that was they didn't feel like siblings to me. I actually felt like they had sexual chemistry, and it made me feel a little unnerved. And it's not their fault, and it just like, I think Adam Driver is
just flirts with
his sexiness
everything.
can't be contained.
Sexiness.
And I think Tina Fey, I was like, oh, like they could.
Yeah, she was like,
I feel like they
yeah.
could get. I feel like they could get it. So
He's married, Nicole.
No, I mean fictionally. I don't mean in real life. Never.
Yeah.
Joanne is a goddess, and I just imagine that Adam Driver is worshiping his wife every day, and I would not even consider that in real life. I mean fictionally. Fictional.
Mm-hmm. So the third one is the forehead touch against Jason Bateman.
I know,
just
that
the
feels
look on
like
his face.
the way
No,
his like
Jason,
his eyes like well up with tears, and you can see that he's trying to keep them in.
yeah,
Oof.
no, that whoo.
I know you really.
So I like the sweet stuff, the
yeah,
goofball stuff.
Yeah.
So, yep, that's me.
No, that all of that sounds exactly like that's all checks out. That all checks out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to go quick because I have 6. Maybe I can combine some. Okay, the first one I have is just the classic Adam Driver stare. That's sort of like, I'm warning you kind of stare. Like when him and Paul first have their first conflict in the house, and they get broken up and apart by the family, and Adam is just like staring him down. Like, that's hot. Like, I don't know why. Like, I wouldn't want to be like with somebody who like picks fights with people or anything. For some reason, when he does it, it's like super hot. So that's number 1. Number 2, just like the rolled up cigarettes in the sleeve. Again, I don't want to be with someone who smokes, although I used to smoke. My husband used to smoke. We haven't smoked in 10 years. But I don't know, something about the rolled up, the cigarette in the sleeve, this rolled up cigarette pack in the sleeve, and the way it just like kind of, generally speaking, I just want to put out a general note to the wardrobe department of this film that they were like, get me shirts that are just like half a size too small so that they're stretched across his chest, and get me pants that really just hug his bum. Like, all of the pants he wore were just like,
I didn't see his butt at all.
How can you not, Sarah? Are you also butt blind in addition to nipple blind and crotch blind? You need to go back and watch this movie just for the butts.
I don't check out anyone, Nicole. I have a problem with that. I don't do it.
The moment he got to that funeral and he like was crossing through the and I was like, God bless the wardrobe department for finding pants that just hugged his tushy in the best way possible. But it was like everything he wore in the whole movie. It was just like biceps, chest, buttocks. I was like, the wardrobe department, they deserved, I hope they got a raise for the work that they did and the service they've done to the culture, our culture, our film culture. Anyway, Adam Driver dancing on a desk after they smoke the weed. I feel like that's a classic hot move.
Oh, when they're soaked and he's like in a crown and with sunglasses.
I also wrote that down. No, you're absolutely right. When he is soaking wet and again, it's like, they're like, get me like, let's wet the shirt, but also like make sure that the shirt hugs his pectoral muscles in a way that makes you feel like the shirt isn't even really there. So yes, Adam Driver dancing on a desk, soaking wet, wearing the crown, all of the above. I feel like this movie is like jam-packed with thirst. I can't even. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Those are all my moments. And I did kind of buy into the bad boy thing a little bit. Like the way he's got that kind of like devilish smirk, like he's up to something. And he's like, oh, like the way he kept provoking Paul, who was such a stick in the mud. I was living for it every time he poked at Paul a little bit.
I loved the part where he tried to turn up the baby monitor so they could all listen to Paul and Annie.
Oof,
so funny.
This movie does not like married people. I don't think this movie has a good opinion about sexual relationships and marriage. Like, it doesn't have, I would say it doesn't have a positive view of sexuality in marriage as something that can be hot and great and good. It didn't, it seems like everyone who was in this film who was married their sex was stale, or they were wanting someone else, or it was purely functional.
Yeah.
I didn't, they talked about how in love Annie and Paul were, but I didn't really other than the friendship love that I think people do fall into when they get married, I didn't really see like that they were like
attracted to each other.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, those are all my moments of thirst.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love how we usually have different
I know.
moments.
I think that I love that for us. And also, of course, I have to give an honorable mention to Timothy Oliphant and his sweatpants.
Timothy,
because
I didn't notice his sweatpants.
He came in with the thirst. I mean, he was basically wearing like a tracksuit the entire, like tracksuit pants and like a t-shirt the entire movie. But I have like
body blindness. I think I'm very focused on the face.
He was wearing a tank top at the end when they're having the fight and he's eating the apple. He was wearing a tank top. That was also very nice.
I'm looking at the face the entire time. Like the face was the important part to me.
Just every now and then, Sarah, let your eyes drift. Just let them drift below the neck. Just let them, and I think you'll be pleased with what you see.
As you would imagine, I'm normally up for pretty much anything in the bedroom. But I can't tell if what happened was weird or sexy.
Shall we do some Adam and Andy trivia?
Yes. So this is Two Truths and a Lie about Adam.
I'm so excited.
This is 2 truths, 1 lie. You have to guess the lie.
I have to guess the lie. So 2 truths about Adam and a lie. Oh gosh, I'm so excited.
Okay.
Hit me with it.
Lived in his stepmother's uncle's closet for a time with only 2 bags of clothing to his name when he went away to school until he could find a place for himself. That's
wow.
1. He studied and practiced grifting for a few weeks for a role in a film that didn't end up getting made in 2012. Both his biological father and stepfather are preachers.
Sarah, you've really stumped me. You've really stumped me this time. You really dug hard. You dug deep for this. Well, the first one, I'm going to go with my gut and say the first one is true because that totally sounds like something that would be true. It sounds like he went to New York, to go to Juilliard and maybe didn't have a place to stay right away. Let's see. What was the second one again? That was...
He studied and practiced grifting for a few weeks for a role for a film that didn't end up getting made in 2012.
And then the last one is that his father and stepfather are preachers, which would indicate that his mom has a thing for preachers. I don't know about the last 2. The last 2 are the ones that I'm really not confident about. So I'm going to go with the first 2 are true just because the idea of Adam like picking people's pockets and conning them in a movie sounds really hot to me. And so I want it to be true. So I'm going to go with the first 2.
It's not true. That's something I made up.
You did good. Wait, so number 3 is true?
Yes.
Wow.
And he doesn't have a relationship with his parents. Like he didn't tell them about any of his roles or doesn't talk to them.
Have a relationship with any of his parents?
No.
Wow, that's intense. Okay. Hey, if you've got toxic people in your life, you don't have to keep them in your life just because you're related by blood. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Sarah, is this the first time I've gotten it wrong?
I'm trying to stump you. I'm trying.
That was the first time that you really got me, and I have to say, I like it.
Oh, you look awesome. Come the fuck upstairs.
Okay.
But wait, I have to warn you about something.
What?
If you come up here, I'm gonna tie you to my bed and keep you for at least 3 days. I'm just in that kind of mood.
Are you ready to spin the wheel?
Yes.
Okay,
it's going to be Andy.
So yeah, our next episode is going to be an Andy episode. So let me go ahead and share the screen.
Never stop, never stopping.
Never stop. Maybe we'll see. So let me tell you what's on here. Cuckoo, which is a British series available on Netflix. So because I was like, I got to make sure we can get this. This was a listener suggestion. He's in like 5 episodes. So we could do 1 episode about his arc on that show.
Nice.
So Cuckoo, Lonely Island Shorts Volume 5. So I feel like maybe Sarah, you could put us together like a little charcuterie of Lonely Island shorts that we could get started with. And then lastly, we have Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping. So are you ready?
Yep.
What are we going to watch next? I'm so excited. Okay, here we go. And it's going to be Cuckoo. So thank you to the listener who suggested that to us, because that's going to be, I'm very excited. This is going to be our next one. So let me go ahead and see if I can at least pull up a synopsis. Well, there's a lot of different ones. See if I can find the TV series, maybe. Is this it? No. All right. Well, I know I did find it on Netflix. There we go. It's Rachel. Okay. I think I know where this is going. Rachel shocks. So this is from 2012, or at least the first season is. Rachel shocks her proper British parents when she marries an American hippie, but it's just the first in a series of surprises for the family. And I'm pretty sure that Andy plays the hippie.
Yeah.
Like I've seen a couple of images from the show, and based on that, I think that he's the hippie in question.
Nice.
So I'm excited.
Yeah.
So Sarah, you and listeners, if you'd like to watch the show, it is available on Netflix. So you and I'll chit chat, and we'll just watch the episodes that he's in. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. But I'm excited. I don't know anything about this show at all. I've never seen it. But I'm fucking excited to watch it.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess before I go, a couple things to plug. I fucking love in talking to other people who love Andy Samberg and Adam Driver on the internet. So please reach out, tweet at us at Adam Andy Pod, or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Adam and Andy Podcast. We're taking your film suggestions. We're taking your thirsty moments. What are your favorite moments from This Is Where I Leave You? Is there a moment of thirst that we neglected to mention? Please let us know. And I'd also like to plug our production company, Critical Crop Top. We've got some brand new sketches that we're releasing, and Sarah is in them. I'm in them. Sarah has written and directed many of those sketches. So that's Critical Crop Top. We shot them all virtually because it was, we were going to shoot it on location, and then COVID happened, and we were like, you know what, fuck it, let's shoot all this virtually. So
the first one looks great.
Were you happy with it? So Sarah's in the first one.
Yeah.
Starring Sarah.
It looks like it doesn't look like it was like shot like this as where we are right now. It's like we're like, but it does look like someone might have placed a camera or something. I don't know. It looks cool.
Well, I am very excited to share the rest of them. I was editing today, working on the next one that's coming out next week. So go check it out at Critical Crop Top on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'm actually uploading the sketches like everywhere. So on Instagram, you can just watch it direct on Instagram. It's being direct loaded to Facebook. And of course, we have a YouTube channel. So if you go to Critical Crop Top on YouTube, you can watch our sketches. You can watch sketches from our live shows that we've done over the years. And you can watch the vidcast for this podcast. So if you're listening to us and you are interested in watching the vidcast, or the vidcast for any of the other episodes we've done for Adam and Andy, you can find that on Critical Crop Top's YouTube channel. So that's it. That's all I got. That's all the plugs. Sarah, it's a new dawn. It's a new day in America, and I have to say, it feels like yesterday, but yet the longest 4 years of my life. And I'm glad to be on the other side of it.
Other side.
So now's the time where we get to work.
Yes.
Not we, because, all I do is watch Adam Driver and Andy Samberg movies, but somebody is going to get to work.
Yes. But we can rest, what's the word? We can rest easy knowing that people are in charge.
Yeah, I think it does help. Like, obviously, there's a lot of work to be done in this country. There's a lot, I think, if anything, the last 4 years have exposed just how much work needs to be done. And so we're going to hold our leaders accountable. I'm very excited that John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock of our home state of Georgia were sworn in yesterday as well. That was a pretty amazing moment. And we're hoping to see some good changes. I'm feeling more hope than I have in a long time.
Yeah, me too.